I'm Trisha Bear from the Culinary Command Post, and today we're going to show you how to make Marry Me chicken. We have 8 chicken breasts. First we're gonna heat up our sun-dried julienne cut tomatoes with Italian herbs in it, and it has oil already in it. So for the first bottle, we're gonna leave the oil in the jar and put it in our skillet. And that's actually what's going to cook our tomatoes, sun-dried tomatoes, and our garlic. Get it out of the deal. Hang on a second, it won't come out. Okay, you'll need a fork to get them out because it won't just come out of the jar. So it's sun-dried tomatoes and oil. So this jar, we kept the oil in it, but the other 2 jars, we went ahead and drained the oil that we're going to add in a little while. Okay, so that's the sun-dried tomatoes, and now we're going to put in 4 teaspoons of minced garlic. And you want to turn your oven on, your stove, sorry, to medium. Just so we can cook our minced garlic. Okay, so while that's heating up, I went ahead and put Italian seasoning as well as this Weber smoked mesquite seasoning on top of the chicken. And before I did that, I had marinated it in buttermilk and melted garlic butter. So I marinated it overnight in melted garlic butter and buttermilk to tenderize it. And then I also used a device to tenderize it, and I'll show you that in just a minute. But I basically punched holes in the chicken so it'll be as tender as it can be. As soon as our skillet heats up here with the sun-dried tomatoes and the minced garlic, we're going to brown our chicken on both sides for about 3 or 4 minutes. And then we're going to remove it from the skillet while we're cooking the sauce that actually goes in the marinated chicken. And we'll finish the chicken cooking to 165 degrees after we get our sauce cooking. So I added Italian seasoning that you can get from Walmart. It's already chopped up for you. And the mesquite chicken. The mesquite seasoning. You can use it on chicken or steak, I believe. So you can marinate it overnight, but you don't want to marinate it for a day or so because it'll change the protein texture of the chicken. Alright, so once the minced garlic is cooked up, we're going to add our chicken to the skillet the first time. Turn it up a little bit. Okay, and our other ingredients that we're going to use, we have 2 more jars of the sun-dried tomatoes that we drained because we don't want the oil in it the second time we add these. So, and then I'm going to add this sun-dried tomato pesto sauce when I get ready to put in the other 2 jars of the sun-dried tomatoes. And the sauce consists of, you can either use chicken broth or soup. And I also have 3 cups of half and half. And a cup of Parmesan cheese. It says it's better to use one that's not in the deli section where you shred it yourself. It works better for this recipe. And then I'm going to add a little bit of our ranch creamy dip, sour cream ranch creamy dip to it. And I got some smoked cheddar and fried onion rings to go on top. As well as we have 2 teaspoons of salt. Since I'm using the chicken broth, whether you use the chicken broth or the chicken soup, it's already salty anyway, so just use the salt sparingly. You may not need the whole 2 teaspoons. Okay, so we're heating the tomatoes up just until they're hot, which they are. It's got the garlic in there. So now we're going to add our 4 pieces of chicken breast that was marinated in buttermilk and melted garlic butter. And these are pretty big pieces, but we're going to make sure when we're finally done that they're at least at 165 degrees. Now this recipe you just make on the stove. You don't have to put it in the oven or anything. I'm going to add some more of this smoky mesquite seasoning to the chicken. And all I'm trying to do is brown it on both sides for about 3 minutes. 3 to 4 minutes on each side. Once we get them brown, we're going to take them off the stove so we can put together our sauce. We're going to use tongs, let them cook 3 to 4 minutes on this side, and turn them and do 3 to 4 minutes on the other side, which is basically searing the chicken. We're not trying to get it done at this stage because we're going to make our sauce once we get our chicken browned, and then we'll add the chicken back last. Now I've got it on medium heat. While that's cooking, I'm going to marinate these other pieces. Not marinate, but I'm going to put this smoky mesquite seasoning as well as the Italian seasoning. I'm going to toss it in here a little bit. Now I did rinse these off after I marinated them because I wanted to make sure they were able to get a good sear on them in the skillet. Make sure you put seasoning on both sides. And you could have cut the chicken breast in half if you wanted to make them go farther. And you may not need any salt at all because this actually has sodium in it. It has 150 milligrams per 1/4 teaspoon. So I don't think I'm going to use salt on this because I did add the smoky mesquite seasoning. Okay, about 1 more minute. I'm going to go ahead and take these off the stove. They're not done, but we're going to add them back to our sauce once we get ready to get the sauce done. Let it get a little bit browner on the other side. When you're cooking any kind of meat really in a skillet, once it's done, you can use that residue to help build the flavor levels in your sauce. A lot of people just throw that out. That's the good part of the chicken that you can use to help make a better sauce. Okay, so I'm just letting it brown about 3 to 4 minutes on each side. Now I'm going to take them out and put them in a pan. Put foil on top of the pan once you get them out. You're going to turn your heat to low also. because we're going to be making the sauce next. Okay, so that's our chicken. So I've taken the chicken out of the skillet, and now I'm going to start making the sauce. So I reduced my heat to low. I'm going to put in 2 more jars of these sun-dried julienne cut tomatoes, but I've already drained them because I don't want the oil in there. So I drained most of the oil off already. So I'm going to put these back in the skillet. And this is how you're going to make your sauce. Alright, that's 1 jar. Here's the second one. Alright, and I'm going to add this this extra is called sun-dried tomato pesto. So I'm going to go ahead and add it. It's a sauce and a spread. So I'm going to go ahead and add this to this because I needed to use it up anyway. So I'm going to add this sauce in. And pesto usually has oil in it anyway, so it's going to have some oil on it. Okay. Now I'm ready. I've got the stove reduced to low. Maybe I'm going to do medium low because this is an electric stove. So medium low. And then I'm going to add in my sauce. And we're going to finish cooking our chicken back in that skillet once we get the sauce done. Okay, so you can either add 3 cups of soup or 3 cups of chicken broth. And you're going to add the Parmesan cheese, which is 1 cup of Parmesan cheese. The recipe says it's better to use the one that's already made up that's shredded versus using the ones you get out of the deli, because I usually will get block cheese and shred it. But this is saying you can go ahead and it's better to use this kind than it is the one out of the deli for some reason. So I'm adding 1 cup of cheese. And then I'm going to add 3 cups of half and half milk. Until it's completely combined. And what we're going to do is when we get the sauce ready to add in our rest of our chicken, I'm going to put part of it, the chicken in this skillet and the other part in this skillet. Because it does take, if you're making 8 pieces, it does take a big skillet. So you might have to use 2 skillets. We're going to stir this Parmesan cheese in with those and the chicken broth. And you can use cream of chicken soup if you want. And it's got quite a bit of oil still in the tomatoes, so when you do drain them yourself, make sure you just take them out of the jar into a colander and drain them. I try to drain them using my hands, but if you can do that, I think they'd turn out better if you just take them out of the jar completely and use a colander on it. Okay, so we do have this sour cream ranch dip that I use in everything. So basically what we're doing on the chicken soup is on low. We're heating it for about 2 to 3 minutes. It says stir constantly also. So I've got it on low. And this is the same skillet that we made the chicken in. And I'm going to go ahead and add the ranch dip, and I'm probably just going to do half of it and see what that looks like on the sauce. Stir in half of it, and this is optional. This is just what I like to use. And basically we're just heating it over low heat until bubbling about 2 to 3 minutes. So once it starts bubbling, then we're going to add our chicken back to the skillet. But we're going to put some of the sauce in that skillet and finish some of it in that skillet. It does say to keep stirring it constantly, so 2 to 3 minutes. And I would definitely drain your sun-dried tomatoes in a colander just so they don't have as much oil in it. See, we've already browned our chicken, and now we're going to cook it till the inside gets to 165 degrees. And we're actually going to reduce the heat to low, and we're going to cover it with a lid. So we got that lid. Let's make sure that's going to fit. Yeah, that's fine. And that's after 2 to 3 minutes, once we put the chicken back in there. If you're thinking about becoming a chef, OSUIT has an excellent culinary program. They even have a garden class, so they'll teach you how to start a garden. And they have a chocolate showpiece class, which I really liked. So I ended up making, I was going to make the American Eagle, but I ended up making, it was not the American Eagle. It was a buzzard, but I didn't have enough chocolate to make the feathers. But that's a pretty fun class at OSUIT. It's about a 1.5-year program if you do it straight through. I recommend taking the summer off. That's just me. I think you'd enjoy it more if you took a break, but super fun course to take. All right, it's been 2 or 3 minutes. It's been 2 or 3 minutes, and this is an electric stove, and it hasn't started boiling yet, so I might just turn up the heat a little bit until it starts bubbling, and then I'll put the chicken back in. This is an electric stove, so it's not going to cook as good as a gas stove. Before I add the chicken back, I'm going to taste it real fast to make sure that it does have enough salt in it. Put one in that. Yeah, I think it has plenty of salt. So we won't need our salt for it. Plus we're going to add smoked Gouda cheese on top, so that'll be more salt. So I'm not going to add any more salt, or any salt to it actually, because of the soup. Okay, before I add the chicken in, I'm going to go ahead and put some of it in this skillet over here so that we can cook part of the chicken in this skillet. Because we're actually going to finish cooking the chicken in the sauce. There, that should be enough for that one. And they'll probably cook 5 pieces in this one and the last 3 in that one. So this recipe makes 8 servings of chicken. And this is a smaller burner too on this side, so I'm going to put it up even higher so it gets done. It's over here. Alrighty. Just trying to get boiling. Yes, boiling just a little bit, or bubbling just a little bit. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and add our chicken back to the skillet with the sauce, and we're going to cook it for 5 to 7 minutes after we cover it up. So let's see how many we can get in this skillet. And our goal is to get the chicken at 165 degrees, because that means it's done. Three. 4. All right, so that one's boiling, so I'm going to turn it down to medium-low. Turn this one down to medium-low because we're going to put the lid on so we can get the chicken done. Okay, so there's 5 in that one. I'm going to put 3 in the other one. And 3. All right, let me make sure I got all the juice back in there, and then we're going to put the lid on for about 5 to 7 minutes. This recipe is super easy. It only takes another 5 to 7 minutes to get the chicken to 165. Okay, so now I'm going to put the lid back on. We're going to wait for about 5 to 7 minutes for it to finish cooking the chicken. We're going to temp check it at 165, hopefully.
(165 degrees). And let's cut a couple of pieces just for taste.
All right.
You cut it.
Okay.
And you have the taste, the first taste.
It's nice and white inside.
Yep, looks good.
All right. The only thing I would do different is drain the tomatoes off better because they had a lot of oil in them.
How's the flavor?
Really good.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm going to try it out.
Oh, it tastes really good.
Kill it is. It's hot though. All right, so let's try this. Yeah, it's good. Very flavorful. A lot of flavor. Really good. That's a little bit. Did you say you had Italian seasoning in it?
Yeah, the sun-dried tomatoes had they had Italian seasoning in them, and then I added Italian seasoning.
Yeah, it's really tasting good. can feel the flavor of the seasoning. And
You can put smoked Gouda on top.
And chicken is very tender, and it's really good. That's how you make it, right?
Yep.
See you next time. One thing that helps us here on the channel, since we're at it, one thing that helps us and helps Trisha is if you hit that subscribe button. A lot of people watch the videos, they watch the short clips, they watch all the short videos, but they forgot to hit the subscribe button. And while you're at it, hit the bell also, and you get notifications. We do premiere a show every Sunday at 2 p.m. So slam that thing, and we'll see you on the next episode.
Thanks for watching.